Hey, what's going on, guys, girls, everybody? What's up? This your boy Ken Miller, and welcome to Real Labs Thursday night, July 9th. I'm with a cold cuts.
Cold cut
combo of comedians, baby.
Oh, you had it. You had it.
Hey, we got to do a C. We got to do a C every night, yo. We got our man, James John in the house. What's going on, James, with the hat?
What's up, bro? I'll be your salami tonight.
we got Miguel Colon Jr. Miguel, what cold cut you gonna be, baby? What cold cut you gonna be?
Spicy capicola and salami, baby. I want it to hurt.
And then we got my main man Mike Hurley here in the house. Mike Hurley, man, name your cold cut, bro.
I guess I'm gonna have to be pepperoni.
Aww.
Like
no
my
matter
nipples.
what, Mike's gonna be on white bread.
So simple, bro. But hey, man.
I feel like, guys, when me and Ken host this week, I feel like we're the two siblings that are like, if we do this right, mom and dad are gonna let us do this all the time. So don't mess up. Like I noticed, I text Ken, like I sent him a Facebook message this week. Hey, we should talk about, like, we never talk about what we should do. Me and Ken are like, hey man, we're gonna lose our privileges. We're gonna be put on. You're gonna see the show next week. It's gonna be James and Mike and special guests.
Yeah, and Mike got the radio voice. So Mike is like, Mike got that radio voice, bro. I got a voice like I'm ready to hip hop battle. Like I was ready to battle.
I like it.
I was like, yo.
I think that's the funny thing with voices, because I like all your voices better than mine. When I hear you guys talk, when I'm doing the editing, I'm like, these guys sound so smooth, and then my voice comes in and ruins everything.
Dude, you have the perfect radio voice, like legit the perfect radio voice, bro.
That's how I feel about all your bodies compared to mine.
You'll take James' body over yours.
Man, I was just being nice, guys.
Okay, I'm about to say, we've all seen James in a bra, so we know. Also, I want to give a shout out to Modern Eyes of Alafaya, which is going to be one of our new sponsors here coming up. Dr. Brandon Mondesir, a good friend of mine, just opened up his optometry business. They do walk-ins. You can call them at 407-904-4431 and make an appointment. I got glasses last week. Y'all, I got some Versace glasses.
I was going to say, I saw your Instagram with your Versace glasses. I'm like, man, I got to go renegotiate my contract over at 104.1 because Ken's walking around with Versace.
Yo, I got a monocle.
My wife.
I'm like, is that an E?
You know what? Yeah. Miguel, they told me to squint.
Bro, the prices are great. My wife got some Gucci. My daughter got some Ray-Bans. My son got some Ray-Bans. So the whole family got glasses because we all blind as hell. So go see my boy Dr. Mondesir, bro. And I bring him up a lot during the show. They're gonna be.
You know what? I need new glasses, so I might just go hit him up, bro.
Yeah, and he's a good dude too, man. We've been friends for a couple of years. I met him through my wife. His wife is a friend of my wife, and I met him for a few years. So me and him hang out, smoke cigars, drink. So he's a good guy.
Do they do exams? Okay. They do exams and fit your prescription right in the office, or
it depends on what type of glasses you got. If you blind like me, they got to send them joints off. when your glasses is the Hubble telescope, you got to send them somewhere. They got to go to NASA to get fitted.
We got a special lab that cuts the bottom of the Coke bottles off and puts them in the Versace frames
with a diamond light, bro. They take a diamond light.
I can imagine for Ken's prescription, they had to send a letter to Italy, and some little boy had to run up the top of a hill, take it to this old man who had to blow off a dusky desk that he hasn't worked on in years, and he's sitting there, with rare stones, shaving them down so that it's like making a samurai sword.
Yeah, my family blind, man.
Your glasses are made by Elon Musk. That's bad.
Yeah, I was blind, man.
Ken's prescription is so good he can see tomorrow.
By the way, Miguel, don't get the extra cheese on lunch tomorrow. The cheese is bad.
I shouldn't get the extra cheese just because my heart's be like, come on now. You couldn't just have an extra pickle,
Ken's glasses got a flux capacitor. That's funny.
I know that reference because I've seen the movie. I know that reference.
You did.
And for holidays, guys, today is Cow Appreciation Day at Chick-fil-A. So if you dress up like a cow, you will get a chicken sandwich. Yeah. And it's also National Sugar Cookie Day.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. What's your favorite cookie, Jay?
Peanut butter.
Yeah.
Love me. Okay. But a certain way. I like the peanut butter cookie to be a little bit overdone. A little crispy. I like mine overdone, bro.
No, bro.
Overdone with me with peanuts in it, and then they press the fork on it to make those 3 lines on top. Which just let you know if you're blind, that's a peanut butter cookie.
Yeah.
Yo, son, I didn't know. Yo, I'm tweeting that. I'm stealing that. That's my new tweet. I'm tweeting that. Mike, what's your cookie, Mike? What's your cookie?
Man, I don't know why I keep giving you guys things to make fun of me for, but here we go. I like Fig Newtons and oatmeal raisin.
Hey, man, it's cool having you on the show. No, it's fruity cake. It's fruity cake.
Hey, look.
That's not a cookie.
Look, let me tell you right now. If competitive eating is a sport, Fig Newton's a cookie.
All right, there we go.
Nah, bro, I'm just wondering how long you've been, sitting down with me. I'm just asking.
Miguel, what you got?
Once you lose both your legs to diabetes, you'll find out.
I would say, since peanut butter has already been said, and that is my favorite, I would say, I get a little bougie with it, but a little macadamia nut, man.
Yeah,
white macadamia nut. Yeah,
never had macadamia.
Subway has the best macadamia nut cookie on the planet, my dude.
Bro, I have gone to Jersey Mike's to get my sub, and then literally there's a Subway on the other side of the shopping complex. Walked in there to get cookies and a drink because I was like, nah, y'all got bigger cups and you got good cookies.
Dude, when I worked at Subway, we'd have to proof and make those cookies, and you had your write-off list of, what was wrong. There was always like half a dozen chocolate chip, half a dozen oatmeal raisin missing from my batch, but macadamia was always fine.
Oh, it's like good. Yeah.
They're the best ones, bro. I love macadamia.
It really is so good. Yeah, when you guys had those cookies, Mike, were they just like the little pressed cookie, and then you put it in like an oven? So my buddy worked.
Yeah, you take the pressed cookie, you put it in the proofer, the same thing you do for the buns, and the moisture just makes it expand, and then you throw it in the oven. Yeah.
My homeboy was gonna get fired from Subway. He knew it. And he was working, and he knew when the manager Kim literally told him on the phone, "Oh, don't go anywhere till I get there." Like, she wanted to fire him. Everybody's like, "Yo, bro, Damien, you about to get fired. You about to get fired." So he stole all the cookies he could steal in those little press things, and then all the bread. And he came over to my house like out of breath because he ran over there, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And I didn't get that he quit, and he's like, "I stole all the cookies and the bread from Subway." I was like, "You ain't take no money?" Like, I didn't get it. I thought he robbed the Subway and just stole cookies and bread.
Let me tell you about Subway, man. I was working there my junior and senior year of high school, and they would make me come in at 4:00, and to save money, they wouldn't put anyone else with me. So I'd be locking up every night by myself at 11 as like a 16, 17-year-old kid. Well, the Subway corporate passed down where you have to have a manager on duty at all times. So I came to work one day, and my general manager told me, he's like, "Hey, good news. They say that we now have to have a manager working every shift." I mean, I had drunks coming in, I had fights, and I was this little kid dealing with all this stuff. And I'm just like going, "Oh, thank God. So I'm going to have some help around here right now." He's like, "Nope. You're a manager." And I'm like, "Do I get a raise?" He's like, "Nope." All they did was change my name tag to associate to manager. Son, it was still like $6.25.
Story, Mike. I 100% true. So same thing happened to me in North Carolina. There's a law where at a certain age you can't work for a certain amount of hours. I think it's only 4 hours a night.
Yeah.
So I worked at a place called Parker Brothers Chicken and Fish. I would come in at 4. I wasn't getting off till midnight. So when they found out, it was like, look, either it has to be a manager or assistant manager on duty. I was 15, 17 years old. This dude made me assistant manager, gave me a 75-cent raise. So I was making $5.25.
Woo!
This 1993. I was making $5.25, and that's the only way I got to work late at night was because I got the assistant manager on my name tag.
We would be closing at 11 o'clock at night, and I would be turning the key to lock it at 10:59. People would be coming up being like, "No, you're open till 11. I'm like, "Nope, that's what time I go home." That means I'm out the door at 11. That doesn't mean I lock the door, take everybody up to 11, and start my breaking down and cashing out. And the manager couldn't find anyone else to work that shift, so he was like, "What can I say? The kid makes nothing."
Yeah. And on a quick little tangent, I will never be that guy because I've come from hospitality and restaurants. I will never show up at a place 10 minutes, 5 minutes before they close. I will not do that.
I hate finding out I did, thinking that it closes at midnight. You know that time you think it's closing at midnight? You're like, this place closes at midnight. Let's get over there like 10:30. Mm-hmm. You get in, and then you start looking around. You're like, are you about to close? You're like, yeah, but it's cool. It's like, no, man.
No, it's not cool.
Not cool.
Now, that being said, we've all worked gigs in towns where there's like one place open when you get done with your show, right? And I'll go into those places and find out that they close in like half an hour. And I'll look right at the hostess or waitress. I'm like, go ask the cooks what they can do quick. Because a lot of times the last thing they turn off is their fryer or they leave one grill top. I'm like, I want to order anything that makes them pull out anything they've already put away. Just tell me what they can do quick because, you know, I'm at your mercy at that point. But you see other people walk in and being in hospitality and having friends that are hostesses, people walk in at closing time and they'll wait to order. They're like, oh, we're waiting on one more person.
I used to bartend at Buca de Beppo. I used to bartend at the Buca de Beppo in the Florida Mall in the early 2000s when it first opened. And we had this dish called Chicken Vesuvius. And it was 3 chicken breasts with like, you know, like a nice garlic olive oil medley on top of them, served over cannellini beans, and then 3 potatoes that were all made to look like Mount Vesuvius that had like a little carve on the side and a little sauce dripping out of it. It was a super time sensitive thing. Like you had to get everything done right. So people would come in and they'd be like, hey, can I get one of the Chicken Vesuvius? It would be like 10:30 and we closed at 11. And I'd be like, you ever been here before? And they'd be like, nah. And I'd be like, all right. And I would go into the kitchen and be like, yeah, I need a Chicken Vesuvius. They've never been here before. So just make chicken with all the ingredients that are in there. It doesn't have to have the presentation or anything.
Dude, I've only been to that place once, but the decor in there reminds me of the Pope had a garage sale and somebody just bought everything. Like it really is. I will tell you, for Italian, like we go to Olive Garden a lot. The kids like breadsticks and everything like that. But
breadsticks are good. The food is good. Yeah.
As a coming from an Italian family, you catch a lot of crap for it. But I will tell you, I've only been there twice. But Maggiano's
Maggiano's is amazing.
Oh my gosh,
bro!
Maggiano's amazing.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Maggiano's, bro. Just the bread alone is delicious.
Remember, we had him come on the show, James? I forgot we had him come on the show. We had Maggiano's come on the show last year.
Okay, then bring him back.
I was going to say.
we don't got an office, guys.
yeah.
Like, I can't be like Maggiano's. I need to make 4 stops.
They need to make 4 stops.
To Kissimmee.
Bro, I've got a couple places that have been down. They just be like, where do you want the food? And I feel like a jerk because I'm be like, just bring it to me and I'll talk about it on the show. Sponsored by Maggiano's. What are
we only got a few minutes left, man, but I want to do birthdays real quick.
Okay, go ahead,
got some good birthdays. We got Tom Hanks. We got Fred Savage from the Wonder Years, and we got our man Shaft, Richard Roundtree.
Okay.
Celebrating their birthday, bro.
Name 2 other movies Richard Roundtree was in besides Shaft, because I know he was in movies, but I can't think of anything other than Shaft. And
was he in I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker?
Nah, that was Jim Brown.
He wasn't.
He was in the gangster movie with Pam Grier, him and Brown when they came back.
Jackie Brown.
No, not that one. The one where they came back as old school gangsters protecting their neighborhood.
Original gangsters.
Because Drew Downs was in that.
He was in the most recent Shaft.
Okay, but
they had all 3 Shafts.
Yeah.
In the most
generations of Shaft.
Generations of Shaft.
Oh, quick Shaft note. Do you know that Django's girlfriend in the movie, I forget her name, is like something Hildegard von Shaft, because Quentin Tarantino said she's supposed to be the descendant of Shaft.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
Wow,
yeah,
I know that, man.
That's Kerry Washington, by the way.
One of the birthdays is Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks is one of my favorite actors. So we got a minute. So real quick, favorite Tom Hanks movie. I'm gonna go first. I got Forrest Gump. What you got, Jay?
Philadelphia.
Mike.
It's tied, man. I just watched Money Pit the other night. Love that one.
Wow.
And but I'd say Big in a heartbeat.
Okay.
True.
I'm gonna go with either Saving Private Ryan or Turner and Hooch. I know
dude, in my head, I was like, Miguel's gonna go with Saving Private Ryan.
It's such a good movie, man. Yeah.
Do you know when they were filming that, they separated Matt Damon from the rest of the cast and let him have like nice, relaxing days while everybody else trained, just so that cast could really have actual hatred towards Matt Damon. If they wanted to do that, they should just made him watch Good Will Hunting. But whatever.
Hey, man. So we're going to take a quick break real quick. When we come back, we're going to talk about the return of my favorite TV show of all time,
The Wiggles.
Mysteries.
Oh, yeah. All right.
We'll be back on Real Radio 104.1. right, guys, welcome back to Real Labs. I'm here with my family, man. We got Mr. James John, Mr. Miguel Colon Jr., and Michael Hurley in the building, guys. What's going on?
What's going on, brother?
Michael. Yeah, I always call him Michael. Also, I want to give a shout out to one of our new sponsors, Modern Eyes at Alafaya. My wife sent me this text and told me to read this. She says, Ken, you're doing great. Make sure you say this.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? You know what's really funny? Before you went to Modern Eyes, you couldn't read that text.
But real talk, man. If you're out on the east side, they are on the east side over by UCF. So you're in the UCF area, man. You can make sure you go visit them. We actually live in Apopka, and we drove all the way from Apopka to the UCF area to get brand new glasses. And my wife got contacts as well. Great doctor, man. Dr. Brandon Mondesir, Modern Eyes at Alafaya. You can check them out on Facebook at Modern Eyes at Alafaya as well. And they're on East Colonial Drive, and they take walk-ins and they take appointments. So guys, y'all know Unsolved Mysteries is my show.
Yeah,
you know it is Pluto. My favorite show. Dude, Pluto. It's my background noise for work. As I'm working, my wife calls it murder TV. She's like, "You watching murder TV again?" I'm like, and I've seen only episode I hate is the Alcatraz. Other than that, I love them all. Unsolved Mysteries, Matlock. Those are my shows because my inner being is an old white woman.
What's the background noise? Do the background noise for me.
That's the music, man. The music.
He was a simple San Francisco man. But one day there was a change of luck. Yeah. My grandfather owned a haberdashery and blah blah blah.
Unsolved Mysteries has returned, family, on Netflix right now. They have 6 new episodes on Netflix of Unsolved Mysteries, and it's pretty much the same. Where it looks at old mysteries to help the public try to solve them. You got your murder, you got your UFOs, you got all the things. Only thing that's changed about it, and I didn't like about it, they don't go in segments. You know, each Unsolved Mystery had like segments. This one is a 45-minute long mystery.
Just
it's 45 minutes. And James, for you, it got the same music, bro.
The music,
bro, but what makes it creepy? What makes it creepy though? When the Unsolved Mystery pops up, there's a silhouette of Robert Stack.
Yep.
Scares the hell out of
kind of like a little tribute to him.
Yeah.
This is where you find out all those mysteries were just his confessions of all the things he's done. It was me the entire time until that Dennis Farina.
Dennis Farina.
We worked together. It was like Kiss the Girls. He did the East Coast. I did the West Coast.
You know what makes me mad about Dennis Farina? Dennis Farina is just doing street jokes. All he's doing is doing Robert Stack's material. He's doing
And the thing about Dennis Farina is, like, Robert Stack had this, like, kind of like, man, Mr. Stack, what happened? Dennis Farina is like talking to you like you're a snitch for wanting to know. You know, like Dennis Farina's mad at you. He's like, there was a murder in Long Island. Do we got to tell you more? You weren't there.
I will tell you this. When I was a kid, my parents stopped letting me watch America's Most Wanted with John Walsh. It was John Walsh.
Adam Walsh.
Yeah, and Unsolved Mysteries. Because even now, dude, like I'll watch Snapped, and I like Snapped because I'm like, oh, who did it? Oh, that guy did it. And I watched this season of Unsolved Mysteries, and I forget, even though the name of the show is Unsolved Mysteries, with the last 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, they only got 5 minutes. How are they going to wrap this up? And then you're like, oh, what do you mean he's still out there? Like my parents wouldn't let me watch America's Most Wanted anymore because at the end I'm like, but they caught the guy, right? And my mom's like, no, they're saying they're still looking for him. And I would pee my bed and cry and not go to sleep, and that's why. I need closure, man. I need closure.
We had a friend. That's why you have to watch the ones on Pluto because it's closure to all of them.
Hey, there's nothing better than finding an update on something you remember watching that never had a solve. Update. Yeah. No, my mom's friend Connie. We were in North Carolina. We were stationed at Camp Lejeune, and she got picked to be one of the like robbers in America's Most Wanted as the actress. And after that, the people would call in on Connie all the time. They were like, "We got the woman. She's outside this apartment complex."
We have a friend, Jeff Barrett. He's an Imagineer for Disney nowadays, but he used to do stand-up a lot. And one of his best jokes was he actually was one of those actors that did the dramatization. And what he realized is every time there was another sighting, they would send him another royalty check because they would re-air the episode. So he's like, people would see me and call in, and then I started calling in on myself because I could use the extra $15.
Hey, he's gonna be there this week, 2 times next week, and then my phone bill comes in at the end of the month. So all week,
listen, while you're there, fill out a comment card.
Yeah, he probably found the real killer and killed him and hit him because he's like, oh, this can't end.
It's a whole nother episode now.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched the new one? Have you any of you guys watched the new episode?
I've watched a few, but I haven't finished it.
I've seen all the episodes except there's one in French, and I was busy. I'm like, I don't got time to read TV tonight, man.
Which is crazy, Mike, because it's actually probably one of the best episodes. Mm-hmm. Because this, I don't want to spoil it for you. I'll let you watch it, but the ending, you're like, what? But the main reason I really wanted to do this was the first episode has a friend of ours on it. So his brother was murdered, and Angel Rivera from Monsters in the Morning, his brother was murdered. If you watch the episode, he was murdered. It's just too much to it to where you can't say it's a murder. And I really wanted to have him on the show, but I wasn't able to make that happen. But I don't know. Have you guys ever watched it and seen an episode and you knew somebody? Because this is the second time I've known somebody that's been on Unsolved Mystery, and you guys know the first person, James Vernon.
He was on Unsolved
Mysteries?
Comedian James Vernon was on Unsolved Mysteries. Remember, James Vernon was addicted to drugs real bad. And he used to call a lady to get him right. And he kept calling, and finally he got clean, and he went on Unsolved Mysteries to find this woman. Where he found her, but she didn't want to come on the show because she was like a drug rehab person, and she just liked to be, anonymous. So I've known now 2 people who.
That's kind of a coincidence, isn't it, Ken?
Yeah.
Real interesting, huh?
I've never murdered anyone.
Yeah,
Parlez-vous français?
Is your alias Robert Stack, perchance?
Right.
In a small town in Greensboro, North Carolina.
It's a good show, man. And shout out to Angel Rivera, man. And hopefully this brings some closure to his family. If you get a chance right now, it's trending #1 on Netflix. It's only 6 episodes. Each episode is about 45 minutes, except for that weird ass UFO episode, which I'm so tired. Don't do any more UFO episodes. They're not real.
This is camera phone. Everybody sleeps with a pistol by their bed era. Like, I want you to be like, UFOs came through my door. I got one off. He's laying on the floor right now.
If you ain't shot an alien, I don't want your story.
Yeah, the alien came in with a no knock, but I was ready.
A no knock.
Bust through the door. Little green man. Pop, pop, pop.
So after watching Unsolved Mysteries, and I've been watching for years, it got me to thinking, what crime in your lifetime do you remember that happened? The O.J. Simpson trial, Lorena Bobbitt, anything that happened in your lifetime that you can remember that stuck with you the rest of your life. What you got, Jay?
I got 2, man, that were big in my lifetime that I can't get out of my head. The first one actually is John Walsh's son, Adam Walsh.
Adam Walsh. Yeah.
I got that book.
Bro, when they found that kid with his head dismembered, and as a child hearing that somebody could do that, it just haunted me. Like, I couldn't get that out of my head. And it's still unsolved to this day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Adam Walsh is. Let's find out and put it on the Facebook. I'll see about it. I'll put a link. Yeah, because I don't. Gotcha. I feel like it is, but it's one of those Mandelas where I don't know. You don't
know. And the second one for me that I did. What was fascinating was cops had every opportunity to arrest this guy, but they took some of the victims back to him, and that was Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah,
Dahmer, bro. That story is. Miguel, is it not insane? Like crazy?
That's just, one of the you want to be real. One of the saddest things about the Jeffrey Dahmer case is that's cops not caring about gay people. They were thinking that they were a gay couple fighting. One of the kids, you do some research on Jeffrey Dahmer, guys, you'll find out one of his victims was a young Asian kid. Probably, I don't remember if he was underage or looked underage, but that's the one that Jeffrey Dahmer put the hole in his head and with the turkey baster put that acid in later on because he was practicing lobotomies. But when the kid first tried to escape, the police were called, and they literally just sent him back like it was a gay couple having an argument. Let's not deal with this,
man. They took the victim back to the killer. Just insane.
So those they did find Adam killer.
They did find
in 1983, career criminal Otis Toole, then an inmate in a Florida prison, Radford Prison in Florida, confessed to Adams' abduction and murder. He also implicated serial killer Henry Lee Lucas in the crime. 1983.
Wow.
So Mike, what crime? 1983.
He got caught in 83.
Maybe that's when he killed him.
It says 83 in on Google, and Google's never wrong.
Got it. Okay,
Mike, what you got? What crime you got that stuck with you, brother?
It's funny because I was just looking for this the other day. In about 1988 in Port St. Lucie, Florida, it was like the first murders in Port St. Lucie, Florida. This older couple, someone broke into the house, killed them, didn't steal anything, and they just never solved it. And I remember me and my buddy wanted to be detectives. We were in middle school, so we were keeping all the paper clippings. Like if the cops came to my house, they'd think I did it because I had like the paper clippings and the strings and trying to figure this out. And there was there was no internet at that time either. So I went back to look at that case the other day to see if it was solved, and I can't find anything enough I'm thinking, did I make this up in my head? Because you can't find any information on that.
Like you just killed the couple, and then you made up the investigation.
That being said, dude, when I moved back to Orlando in 2008, 2009, the Kaylee Anthony case was the biggest thing going on. And then we got hit with Trayvon, how many years ago? It's like, dude, how am I living in the place where two of the biggest national scandals happen? Orlando. You would think stuff like that be New York or Vegas or something. We catch Florida, some pretty big crimes in Orlando.
Florida, baby. Miguel, what you got? Crime that stuck with you?
Two, man. One was like a personal thing. 1994, a buddy of ours, Kevin, just never came back home once, and it actually happened on a base, and so the FBI, because of base crimes, DOD, so the FBI gets involved in the investigation. It went to Unsolved Mysteries. Actually, now that I think about it, no, I'm sorry, it went to FBI Files, which was like a ripoff of like,
which is my other favorite show, bro.
Okay, yeah. So it went to FBI
Tell me
Files.
The episode after the show. I want to look that up and watch.
Yeah,
it. That's one of my other favorite shows.
It went there because it was one of the unsolved ones that they were like, we're still on the lookout for blah blah blah. I'll find it, man. But he went missing, and we all got like every kid that knew him got sat down and grilled. But like I got grilled by the FBI, and I was like 11 or 12. I was like 12 years old. We all did. Like our parents were there, but it was crazy because they're like, just tell me the truth, man. Who did it? And I'm like, oh, bro, who did what? Like, what I'm saying? I'm like, this kid's missing. And they're literally on the whole, just tell me, man, what's up, man? Who did it? Who did it? And and then about 20 years later, I'm working at bartending, and FBI calls me up. Says, hey, look, man, we're just going through old cold case files. We just wanted to ask you some questions. And I remember the name of the agent and everything. And they're like, yeah, okay. And they basically were breezed through. They were like, hey, I'm just going through the numbers on the checklist. And then that was it. But they never found it, man. They never found him or whoever hurt him or if he got hurt or anything.
Bro, Ken, send me that because FBI Files and New Detectives is like my show, bro.
Yeah.
Real quick, I know we're about to get off, but two cases that I know is near and dear to all our hearts is Biggie and Tupac.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, but at this time we're just like, even though I
feel like Orlando, I can't remember his last name because I don't want to say Jones again. Killed him, man. But hey, man, we gonna go to commercial real quick. When we come back, I'm gonna tell you guys the crime that stuck with me as a kid that to this day still terrifies me. And Miguel got Throwback Thursday, one of my favorite segments of the week, man. So we'll get with y'all guys on the flip side. What up, family? Welcome back to Real Laughs on Real Radio. Man, it's Thursday night. I'm hanging out with my family, the cold cuts of comedy. I got my man James John Miguel Colon Jr. and Mr. Mike Hurley he in the building. I also want to give a shout out to Dr. Brandon Mondesir at Modern Eyes out in Alafaya over by UCF. If you're looking for brand new glasses or contacts, please go see my man. Good guy. I got my Versace glasses coming next week that were cut by Diamond Lenses. Because I'm blind and I need thick bifocals. So I'm coming back off of last segment. We were talking about things that stuck with you as a child. And for me, it was the Atlanta child murders. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was like 18 to 20, black boys were killed in Atlanta in the 80s, late 70s and the 80s, and it stuck with me. And the reason why, because they came up with a slogan. I don't know if you remember. It's 9 o'clock. Where are your children at?
Children. Oh wow, yeah, I didn't know that had anything to do with that.
That came up. That existed from the Atlanta child murders, and it terrified me because when I was a kid, there was a movie that came out about the Atlanta child murders, and in the movie, which I found out later that it wasn't. It was a miniseries that I found out later. Some of it was made up. The guy climbed in a window and actually picked the kid up and left out with the kid.
While the kid was sleeping?
While the kid was sleeping. And I lived in the projects, and we had a porch where we used to climb up the porch, get on the roof, and go in the house. And I was terrified that somebody was going to climb in a window and pick me up and take me out the house.
Wow.
And it stuck with me and terrified me for my whole life, to the point where I don't open my windows.
Do you sleep with a bunch of bells on? Just bells all over you?
Whistles.
Bling, bling, bling. Oh, not today. Not today. You just punching your mom. She's trying to take you because you have a fever. Not today.
Yeah. And the other crime I would say stuck with me would be the DC sniper, because I lived in DC during that time.
Yeah.
And it was terrifying to try to pump your gas. I would only get gas on base. I would never get gas off base. And the one time I had to get gas off base, y'all, please watch a YouTube video so you can see what I'm doing. I was ducked down like this. I was ducked down. Or, dude, you would see people running in the gas station because this was before debit cards was the thing to pay for gas. Mm-hmm. You would see people running inside to pay for gas, people running into the grocery. It was like it was terrifying. So those two things stuck with me because I really lived through them, and it's always been a part of me.
Now, Ken, the thing I remember about the DC sniper was the guy that was doing it with the kid. They didn't really have a reason for doing it. They just were doing it, right?
No, they did. The reasoning was he was going to kill his ex-wife to get custody of his children. So he wanted to shoot a bunch of people, then eventually shoot her. So it looks like a sniper, the DC sniper shot that. It was actually, I mean, the kid did all the shooting, but the guy convinced the kid that the government
how old was the kid at the time?
Dude, he had to be 16 or 17, and he got
his name was like it was like Draco Malfoy, but it wasn't. But I can't remember what his name was.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah. So he got tried as an adult, got life in prison. I want to say the main guy got the death sentence,
and they were shooting. I mean,
death penalty.
I mean, this is not for nothing, man. But if you want to talk about shooting. Like, I'm not trying to make these guys sound good, but how dangerous it was. They were shooting from a trunk, from the lock of the trunk open.
Lock of the trunk.
Yeah.
Just open. You're talking about the size of a silver dollar. And I think they were using an AR-15 is what he was mostly using, I believe. I mean, they're using this is you don't know where the shot's coming from shooting. This is not building window open. This is not rooftop,
And they were looking for a white van. They were, this is during the time, it was after 9/11, which I lived in DC during 9/11 as well. And so, of course, at that time, if you were Arabic or you're a Muslim, that's who they were looking for. They were looking for a Muslim person because they figure it's a terrorist act. It can't be two black dudes. It can't be two brothers. No lie. I was in Cabo San Lucas with the president on the trip with the president.
Just wilding out?
I was wilding out. I was wilding out until he got there. I wasn't wilding out, but it was one of my favorite times. And my Sergeant Miller, who I used to call Pops, he was a white guy. He was my NCO. He came in, he says, they caught the DC sniper. And everybody was like, yes. He says, guess what? I said, man, they were probably two white dudes. He said, they was black. I said, look, I resigned my post. I'm out. Yeah. There's no way, bro. He's like, dude, they're black. And I cut on the news, and it was two brothers. And he was trying to kill a bunch of people so he could then shoot his ex-wife and get full custody of his kids. And it looked like it was a DC sniper.
Wait a second. It's a story of a black serial killer team and a black father trying to get his kid? This is made up by the government.
Hey.
Yo, man, it's true stuff, man. That police chief in DC, man, he was amazing, dude. The police chief up in DC was a great guy, man. A good dude. I actually met him when I was stationed in DC. He was a good guy. He ran that investigation well, man. He was one of the good cops. But go ahead, Mike.
How did I remember the story and everything? I remember they got caught, but what was it that finally got them caught? How did they get? I think
somebody saw the car. I think it was the car that
the people that they were living with turned on them. Right?
Oh, really?
That couple they were living with. If the movie is accurate, because I was watching that, they were staying with somebody. They were not living in their own house.
If the movie's accurate, Chadwick Boseman was involved.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, the Black Panther came. Yeah,
right. Just one more reason I hate roommates. You can't trust them for nothing.
I'm looking it up on Wikipedia. It went from October 2nd to the 24th, 11 deaths, and somebody identified the car.
Oh, okay.
It was a blue Monte Carlo. You know,
at a rest stop.
At a rest stop. It was a rest stop, and they got caught at a rest stop. But they were looking for a white van for God knows for weeks. You know what I'm saying? What happened was they shot somebody, and a white van at the time sped off, and they automatically thought that was the van that had something to do with it.
And that's so scary, man, because also you in that van that sped off, you get pulled, you're gonna get grilled for hours because they saw you speed off. And to the point where it's terrifying, like you're like, I have nothing to do with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but the segue to that, I wanted to talk about how great that the cop was in DC that helped find the DC sniper. So that takes us to our Throwback Thursday with our man Miguel Colon Jr. And Miguel, what's your topic for tonight, brother?
Guys, this Throwback Thursday, first of all, is sponsored by a good friend of mine in law enforcement, Mr. Tim Altman from Altman Bail Bonds. Altman Bail Bonds has been around for 20 years. They're 24-hour service. Their phone number is 352-343-6090. They operate in Seminole, Orange, and Lake County. And the thing about Altman Bail Bonds is when you get arrested, it's a scary process. You might not be guilty. You might be guilty of just not realizing you have some overdue parking tickets, which led to a warrant. It's not always bad people who are getting arrested. It could be anybody. But when you do get arrested, it's going to be a terrifying experience. And the best thing you can do is get yourself good legal representation and also find yourself a qualified bail bondsman to help with the process of getting out of jail so that you know your rights and that you're protected. And that process couldn't be handled by anyone better than Tim Altman at Altman Bail Bonds. Open 24 hours, phone number 352-343-6090. And I love that he says 24 hours because I hope there's not a bail bondsman who's like 9 to 5, baby. Like, 6:30, you get arrested.
The bail bondsman is like Mike closing Subway. Look, it's 1 minute to 5. You should have got arrested at 1 o'clock, bro. Like,
but on this Throwback Thursday, man, I wanted to focus on a show that's now canceled, but really was like one of my favorite shows growing up, and that's Cops. Cops, the TV show, ran on Fox from March 1989 till March 2020. The first episode of Cops aired, it was Broward County over here in Florida.
I didn't know that.
First episode, Broward County. Cops has been around for 32 seasons, has 1,103 episodes. The actual voiceover host of it is Burt Lancaster, which I don't know for me, when I think of Burt Lancaster, I remember Field of Dreams. He's old Doc Moonlight, the old guy who comes back and becomes a kid. He was also in Serpico. He played Cross, and he was also the original Dr. Moreau in The Island of Dr. Moreau. The thing about Cops is I definitely understand the narrative that Cops pushes that people are having a problem with, because I never watched an episode of Cops where a cop did anything ever wrong or where the criminal wasn't just a dirtbag, you know? Yeah. And so I've read a lot of articles on Cops, and what they brought up is that, of course, it's heavily edited. Something I found out is that people who have been arrested and charged with crimes, have used the Cops episode as evidence to prove that they were profiled or that they were not the person who did it. Well, one of the stories you can look up is there was a guy who was arrested on Cops. He was pulled over, and the officer said that he was just wearing dark clothes and looking suspicious. So the cop pulled him over, searched him, found out he had a warrant, and found a gun on him. But that episode was what the guy was able to use to beat the case, because the cop clearly says in the episode, I pulled you over because you were wearing dark clothes and looking suspicious. Now that looking suspicious charge can mean anything because James right now looks suspicious being the only person wearing a hat. Yeah. Like, why you got a hat on, man? And suspicion, yeah.
And that was decades before, like, stop and frisk and everything else. That was just like, I'm a cop. You look guilty. Figure we talk. Yeah.
Because here's the thing: suspicion doesn't mean guilty. It means different. Mike's screen has a library behind him. The rest of us have houses. Why does he have a library? That could be suspicious because all it means is you want to know more. It looks different. I want to be interested in this. So you can't say somebody looks suspicious because that means to you. But the problem I'm having is that people want to get rid of cops, and I guess it's time. But also, people are like hating me for loving cops growing up. And one of the hard things is we're getting like hated on now for things that I can understand you telling me you're right. I'll be like, you're right. It paints a narrative of the police that criminals are always bad and cops are always right. There's violations of people's civil rights. Maybe this show should go on. But do not get mad at me because if you've at least watched one episode of Cops, you know how good that show is.
There's two things Cops have taught me. I enjoy reggae music. And never hide under the kid's swimming pool because they're gonna look.
Yeah. Hey, have you guys ever seen a cop? There's a great episode of Cops where these guys there used to be Cops bloopers tapes where they would have Cops bloopers and Cops wildest chases and you'd be able to rent them. There's one where these 4 kids are riding in this car. The cops pull them over. The kids open the car doors and all of them put a foot out. The cops get out and run. The kids put their feet back in the car and drive off. It was so good.
Wow.
My other favorite episode, I might have mentioned this once before, was when the light up shoes first came out.
The dude is running?
They pull a guy over on the side of the road on the highway by the woods. The passenger takes off into the woods and you can just see in the darkness these little red and the cop and he goes behind a tree and stops, but you can still see the little red lights flash. And the cops are like, oh, man, we lost them. We're going to have to come back with the dogs. And then they went around and grabbed them. It was great.
Yo, you know what's crazy to me about Cops? I only remember watching white people in trailer homes get arrested.
See, I remember a lot of white people getting arrested.
I remember a lot of black people getting arrested on
Cops. That wasn't Cops. I let you watch my family film once. And
Cops actually made me profile a certain kind of white person because if I saw that their teeth were just like spread out, missing, and they were wearing like a wife beater and living in a trailer, I was like, listen, he hit her. Okay, he hit her. You know,
I'm with you.
When I was watching that show back in the day, a mullet was an admission of guilt. I thought,
that was for the women. Yeah.
And then I never understood how it worked so perfectly. But how did Inner Circle's Bad Boys fit so well with that? Like, you never say reggae and police. That's what I'm thinking. But it worked, man.
It worked, man.
But this Throwback Thursday, once again, sponsored by Altman Bail Bonds. Just remember the shows that we all grew up with. Some of them don't hold up well now, but just like our parents, that doesn't mean they weren't trying to do good back then.
Oh, anybody anywhere this weekend?
No.
6 feet away from a stranger.
I'm in Fort Pierce.
You're at the Sunrise Theater.
Yeah, but he had to do my rules. He had to do social distance. He had to do masks. He had to do temperatures.
Ken, wait. He had to do LaShawn's rules.
Yeah, he had to do. Yeah, hey, who? Hey, is she in here right now? We're here with my puppy, bro.
Yeah.
Why you with my puppy? Yeah, I'm here with my puppy. Why you tripping, Jane? We got to get up out of here, man. Thank y'all so much, man, for listening, man. We'll see y'all next Monday. You can find us on Real Radio, the app. What is it? iHeartRadio,
iTunes,
download iTunes, Spotify.
$20 mixtapes at the bodegas.
Plenty of fish.
In the trap,
farmers only.
In the trap, all of that, baby. For James John, Mike Hurley, Miguel Colon Jr., Sauce's Castle, all of that. We love you, man. We'll see y'all next week. Holla.